a Friday, 10:30 in the morning, walking along the south rim of the Grand Canyon, north of Flagstaff, Arizona. Absolutely gorgeous day. Good stiff breeze behind us. There's the Colorado River down there. All this started a couple billion years ago when the Pacific Plate crashed into the North American Plate. Pacific Plate is diving down, North American Plate rising up. Much more recent times, the Rockies were formed. If I remember right, that was just a few million years ago. Maybe wrong, but anyway, more recently. And when it rose up, one of the things I remember was that it didn't do a lot of uneven lifting. It was you notice the layers. The layers aren't wavy; they're pretty straight, which is kind of hard to imagine when you think of pointed mountains and so on. But anyway, and then at the end of the last ice age, 15,000 years ago, whatever the date, the amount of water in the Colorado River estimates as much as 10 times higher than it is now, flowing down out of the Rockies, and that's what starting the cutting of the gorge or the canyon. Okay, beautiful day. Probably high 70s right now. Love the weather out here. Hotter than hell during the day down at sea level, but then cools off in the evening, stays cool in the morning. Really pretty neat.